For millennia, human beings have sought to understand the divine through stories, visions, and sacred texts. Among these texts, the Bible holds some of the most vivid and mysterious descriptions of divine encounters. But what if some of these miracles were actually eyewitness accounts of something else, something not from this earth? Today, on MythosEdge, we explore one of the most baffling and debated biblical passages, the vision of Ezekiel. Was he describing angels or ancient alien technology? Were wheels within wheels just metaphor, or something far more mechanical? The Book of Ezekiel is one of the most poetic and perplexing books in the Bible. Written by the prophet Ezekiel during the Babylonian exile around 590 BCE, it records visions that have confounded scholars for centuries. I looked, and behold, a stormy wind came out of the north, a great cloud with fire flashing continually, and a brightness around it, and in the midst of the fire something like glowing metal. From this fiery center emerged 4 living creatures, each with 4 faces, those of a man, lion, ox, and eagle, and 4 wings. But beside each creature stood something even stranger. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like the color of beryl, and all 4 had the same likeness. The wheels were so high that they were dreadful, and each wheel was full of eyes all around. The wheels moved in any of the 4 directions without turning as they went, and the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. This vision is dense with symbolism and has long been interpreted as a mystical representation of God's glory and omnipresence. But the details, wheels moving in every direction, full of eyes, and somehow connected to living creatures, raise many questions. Are these purely symbolic? Or could Ezekiel have witnessed something tangible? In the 20th century, a controversial theory emerged, the Ancient Astronaut Hypothesis. Proponents like Erich von Däniken argued that many ancient myths and scriptures describe encounters with advanced extraterrestrials whose technology seemed like magic or divine power to primitive peoples. Ezekiel's wheel, they claim, is not metaphor but an eyewitness account of a UFO or alien spacecraft. The wheels within wheels suggest complex, multi-directional machinery, far beyond chariots or carts known to the ancients. The eyes could be sensors or lights. The fiery cloud and glowing metal resemble descriptions of plasma or energy fields. The spirit in the wheels may represent a biological or AI interface, pilots controlling the craft. Even NASA engineer Joseph Blumrich was intrigued. After studying Ezekiel's text, he designed a speculative technical blueprint for a vertical takeoff vehicle based on the prophet's description. Blumrich concluded that Ezekiel's vision could be a real spacecraft, something utterly foreign to his time, but mechanical in nature. Ezekiel's vision is not an isolated anomaly. Around the world, cultures have legends of gods descending from the skies in fiery chariots, flying machines, or glowing wheels. In Hindu mythology, the Vimanas are described as flying palaces or war vehicles with engines and propulsion systems, sometimes capable of interplanetary travel. The Sanskrit epics mention advanced machines made of metals with the ability to move silently or emit flames. In the Book of Enoch, an ancient Jewish text excluded from the biblical canon, the Watchers are angelic beings who descend in chariots of fire and teach humans forbidden knowledge, including technology and astrology. The Mayan civilization tells of the god Kukulkan, who came from the stars in a serpent-shaped craft, imparting wisdom to the people. Even in Greek mythology, Helios rides a flaming chariot across the sky, and the gods themselves are described with wings or radiant light. Why do so many disparate cultures use similar imagery? Is this just shared symbolism, or could it point to a universal experience of beings visiting Earth in advanced technology? From a scientific standpoint, there are strong reasons to interpret Ezekiel's vision symbolically. First, neurological science shows that intense religious or mystical experiences can be induced by altered brain states due to fasting, trauma, or epilepsy. The temporal lobes are linked to religious visions, hallucinations, and feelings of transcendence. The wheels within wheels and eyes could be the brain's attempt to describe a complex spiritual experience in visual terms. Similarly, the 4 faces might symbolize qualities of God: intellect, courage, strength, and vision. common archetypes across cultures. Furthermore, the language of Ezekiel's time was metaphorical and poetic. The prophet may have been describing a divine presence he couldn't fully comprehend, using earthly analogies. Archaeologists have found no physical evidence of alien technology or ancient spacecraft artifacts. That absence weighs heavily against literal interpretations. Still, the detailed mechanical imagery in Ezekiel is unusual compared to typical biblical visions. Scientists admit the passage is unique, but caution against jumping to extraterrestrial conclusions without concrete evidence. What if Ezekiel wasn't describing aliens, but something else? Advanced technology from an ancient civilization. There's a growing field of research suggesting that prehistoric cultures may have had access to high technology, now lost or forgotten. Artifacts like the Antikythera mechanism, an ancient Greek astronomical calculator, or the Baghdad battery, speculated to be an early galvanic cell, hint at technology far beyond conventional understanding of ancient societies. Could Ezekiel have seen an advanced machine, powered by technology unknown to us now, or preserved from a lost age? Or was his vision a symbolic way of expressing an experience too powerful for words, bridging the divine and the mechanical? Human beings interpret the unknown through familiar frameworks. For Ezekiel, these were animals, wheels, eyes, fire, symbols packed with religious meaning. The eyes on the wheels may represent God's all-seeing nature. The wheel's ability to move without turning suggests divine omnipresence. The four faces correspond to symbolic creatures in Jewish tradition: lion for majesty, ox for strength, man for wisdom, and eagle for swiftness. Many scholars argue Ezekiel's vision is a complex religious metaphor designed to communicate the mystery of God's presence among his people in exile, rather than a literal description of a machine. Ezekiel's visions serve a theological purpose, to assure the Israelites that God has not abandoned them. The Book of Ezekiel is a call to repentance, restoration, and hope. The intense imagery reassures the exiled community that God's power transcends their captivity. This theological lens is vital. Seeing Ezekiel's wheels as divine symbols reaffirms faith, rather than demands belief in extraterrestrial visitors. Still, the extraordinary nature of the vision leaves room for wonder. In modern UFO culture, Ezekiel's vision is often cited as one of the earliest contact reports. Some ufologists believe that religious texts hold clues to the history of alien visitation. From the 1947 Roswell incident to Area 51 conspiracies, the notion of alien gods has captured the public imagination. Films, TV shows, and literature explore these ideas, mixing biblical imagery with extraterrestrial mythos. So what is Ezekiel's wheel? Divine metaphor? Ancient spacecraft? Lost technology? The truth may be elusive, caught somewhere between faith and reason, myth and science. At MythosEdge, we invite you to explore these mysteries with open minds and healthy skepticism. What do you believe? Drop your thoughts below, subscribe for more journeys into the unknown. Because sometimes the greatest mysteries lie where myth and science collide.